Eala faces former Tormentor Valentova at 2026 Qatar Open First Round. Manila, Philippines. Filipina tennis star Eala will face Czech teenager Teresa Valentova in the opening round of the 2026 Qatar Open. Eala, currently ranked world number 45, is looking to bounce back from a tough 6-1, 6-2 loss to Valentova in the Japan Women's Open last October. The 18-year-old Czech player is currently ranked number 44 in the world. Eala faces former Tormentor Valentova at the 2026 Qatar Open First Round. The night air in Doha carried a strange stillness, the kind that settles just before something breaks. Eala stood at the tunnel's edge, racket handle pressed into her palm, feeling the hum of the stadium seep into her bones. The Qatar Open had always felt glamorous on television, floodlights, immaculate courts, moneyed calm. But up close, it felt like a reckoning. Across the net, warming up with efficient, almost careless strokes, was Karolina Valentova. Eala didn't need to look twice. Some faces branded themselves into memory, etched not by affection but by survival. Valentova's presence had that effect. Years ago, she had been the gatekeeper, taller, stronger, ruthless in the way only the supremely confident could be. On the junior circuit, Valentova had dismantled Eala more than once, not just with her game, but with the quiet cruelty of dominance, lingering eye contact after winners, exaggerated sighs at Eala's errors, a handshake that felt like a reminder of hierarchy rather than respect. That was then. This was Doha, 2026. The announcer's voice rolled through the stadium, introducing them both. Valentova, seated, established, her name greeted with polite applause. Then Eala, no longer a novelty, no longer just a promising left-hander from the Philippines, but a contender in her own right. The applause was warmer than she expected. It surprised her, and for a moment, she let it. She closed her eyes briefly before stepping onto the court. The first game told no lies. Valentova came out swinging, flattening her backhand, rushing the net, dictating the pace as if time had folded back on itself. Eala scrambled, defended, counterpunched, but the old rhythm tugged at her nerves. She went down an early break, the scoreboard blinking a familiar story. As she walked to the baseline, towel over her shoulders, Eala felt the past creep in. She remembered being 16, walking off courts in Europe with red eyes and clenched teeth, telling herself that losing to Valentova was normal, that some players were just built to win while others were built to learn. But learning, she had discovered, was a dangerous thing. It changed you. On the changeover, Eala stayed at the strings of her racket, then up at the stands. Her team sat quietly. No frantic gestures, no panic. They trusted her now. More importantly, she trusted herself. The next game, she slowed everything down. Eala started using the full geometry of the court, rolling her lefty forehand high and heavy to Valentova's backhand, dragging her wide, refusing to give her the clean line she craved. The rallies grew longer. The points stopped ending on Valentova's terms. A murmur rippled through the crowd as Eala clawed back the break, her fist tightening after a perfectly timed passing shot. Valentova noticed. Of course she did. Her body language shifted, subtle, but unmistakable. The easy confidence sharpened into irritation. She rushed between points, glanced at her box, bounced the ball harder before serving. For the first time, Eala saw not a tormentor, but an opponent, human, fallible, under pressure. By the end of the first set, the scoreboard read 7-5, Eala. She sat down, heart hammering, sweat tracing paths down her arms. Across from her, Valentova stared straight ahead, jaw tight. The roles were not reversed exactly. Tennis was never that simple, but they were no longer fixed. The second set was war. Valentova raised a level, ripping returns, daring Eala to keep up. Games stretched to juice, each point a negotiation between courage and fear. Eala felt her legs burn, her lungs protest, but something steadier carried her forward. Every time doubt surfaced, she answered it with a choice. Step in, swing freely, trust the work. Midway through the set, at 4-4, came the moment Eala would remember long after Doha faded into memory. Down break point, she tossed the ball for her serve, the lights blinding for a split second. Valentova leaned forward, predatory, ready to pounce. Eala served wide, followed it with a forehand down the line, clean, brave, unhesitating. Valentova lunged, missed, and for the first time that night, looked almost stunned. The crowd rose, not in thunder but in recognition. At 6-5, serving for the match, Eala felt the weight of it all. Years of losses, quiet resolve, early mornings, the long belief that one day, the story would bend. Her hand trembled slightly as she bounced the ball. She smiled to herself, a small, private thing. This was what she had wanted. Not revenge, not humiliation, just truth. 2 points from victory, Valentova fired a return that clipped the line. Applause. Eala nodded. No anger, no shrinking. On match point, the rally stretched, shot after shot, neither willing to blink. Then Valentova went for too much. Her forehand sailed long. Game. Set. Match. Eala stood still for a moment, the noise washing over her. When she walked to the net, Valentova met her eyes. The handshake was firm this time, real. No condescension. No ghosts. As Eala left the court, she realized something quietly profound. Valentova had not been the villain of her story after all. She had been a chapter. A hard one, yes, but necessary. In Doha, under the lights of the Qatar Open, Alexandra Eala didn't just win a first-round match. She stepped out of a shadow she had long outgrown, carrying with her the calm certainty that the future, whatever it held, would be faced head-on her own terms.